So before I share, it's not gonna be a deck. It's gonna be kind of a deck, but I'm gonna show you examples and things that you can use today as well. So I just want to make sure that everyone, if you have your phones out, that's cool. If you have your laptops out, that's cool too, because you may want to go and try these things and some really fun things that the AI labs are building that you can use and also some things that we're building at 0 to 60 with Cool and Shashanka and so on. So, yeah, I'm hoping it's more of a demo, rather than just a presentation that I'll just be presenting. Cool. How much time do I have?
Up to you.
Up to you. Oh, up to me? Okay, cool. Should we have a Q&A session after?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for attending. So today, I hear from Cool that a lot of you are going to be graduating pretty quick. And so I made this presentation more on applications that I think you could use today and any position or job that you are getting into. Cool. What are people studying? Just like generally? Is it all software engineering or what is it?
Software engineering, a few of them are doing diploma.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, you know what I didn't do is I didn't do some stuff on Cursor or GitHub, which I should have done, but what we could do is we can look at Lovable and Bolt and work through some of that and just showcase some of that stuff. Okay, today is I want to talk about the current state of AI, just all the developments and some of the practical business use cases. Part of this presentation is we present this to businesses to showcase because a lot of businesses, especially here in North America, even though there's a lot of AI hype, there's people using AI, mostly ChatGPT, but not actually using it as a business, as a whole, to actually drive business, change operations, so on. So that's kind of what we do at 0 to 60. And then show you essentially some of the new stuff that are coming. Just by show of hands, who here's watching OpenAI's 12 day of shipments? Okay, nobody? Cool. That's awesome. So the last 12 days, OpenAI has been dropping feature after feature after tool. And apparently today is the biggest day. So if you want to watch that, that's in 2 hours. So at 11:30 your time, if you're gonna pay attention, it's on YouTube. Probably their biggest drop before the end of the day. So just really quickly, I know I want to get to the use cases, but in terms of artificial intelligence, I think AI has been around for quite a while. I got into it around 2018, more so when Sundar Pichai was on stage and he was presenting this AI tool where you could book a restaurant using AI. Really cool. Nothing happened obviously until GPT-2, GPT-3 was using it, but it wasn't ready for business. Same thing with Dolly and Midjourney. But AI has been around though, right? All these things inside, your phone, Netflix, the social media, any social media networks, a lot of them use machine learning AI to do the predictions, to do algorithms. So it's been around, but it's a lot of it is now that you can use. And then really quickly here, so when you hear a lot of these terms, and so artificial intelligence really is the broad overview, right? It's the field, and it's, creating machines that capable of performing tasks that require human intelligence and problem solving. Then you have machine learning, which is a kind of a subset enabling machines to learn from the data and improve over time without explicit presentations. Then you have deep learning, which is again a subset of machine learning that uses neural network to process and analyze complex data, like recognizing objects and images or transcribing speech. So deep learning powers the innovations like self-driving cars, Waymo, and Teslas, and advanced large language. Okay, so if you want to learn more deep into AI itself, I would recommend there's so many courses out there. I'm sure you can find some, but today I just want to showcase some use cases. So first of all, let's talk about the current gap in AI. When I mean gap, I mean people who use AI frequently and those who don't use it at all. And I think that gap is growing because the technology is moving so fast. So the analogy I like to use is remember the first iPhone came out in 2007 when Steve Jobs was on stage and he showed it. And now we're up to, I think, iPhone 16. And same thing with Androids and all the Android versions. But imagine if the iPhone 16 showed up the next year after the first iPhone was released. No one would know how to use it. Some people would, but for the most part, no one would know how to use it. No one would know how to use the features, and no businesses can be built on top of it. No one would have any app. There'd be very few applications to take advantage. And that's because no one had time to adapt. And, people had over nearly 2 decades to adapt to the iPhone. Well, that's how fast AI is moving, right? Even the last 12 business days, there have been so many things that have been released from Google, from OpenAI, from Pika, from Runway, so many different things from a bunch of AI companies that no person or people can really keep up unless you just live in the space or work in the space. In this presentation today, actually, to keep going a little bit further, this is the roadmap. This is OpenAI's roadmap. This was released, I don't know, about 3 months ago, but a lot of the AI companies like Google, Anthropic have their own 5 levels. But just to give you an example, level 1 chatbots were, ChatGPT, Meta Llama, Mistral, open source, right? Right. So Claude, Copilot from Microsoft, which is kind of using OpenAI. But that's level 1. Level 2 is Reasoners, which was just released about 2-3 months ago, O1. And then Google released theirs, I think, just yesterday too. So human level problem solving at a PhD level. So you can see from some of these benchmarks, PhD level in coding, math, science, really STEM. You can see the benchmarks here. And then they also released O1 Pro mode, same thing, benchmarks. And then, like I said yesterday, Google released their AI reasoning model, so first of all, as you can see, ChatGPT, there's O1 Pro. And then from Google, there is then you have the new Flash Thinking Experimental, which I think just dropped yesterday too. So they have their reasoning as well. So based on all of these, so that's what I mean by level 2 reasoning, level problem solving at the PhD level. Now, Sam, level 3 is agents, so systems that can take action. And when we mean action, take action for days. So in the OpenAI Dev Day in London and London and in San Francisco, what he mentioned was people will ask an agent to do something that would have taken a month, and now it'll take an hour, and they'll have thousands of these agents. So when you think about agents, that fundamentally changes how business operates and how businesses are built. I think in Y Combinator, like and you gotta have to check this out, I think 40% of the incoming class were AI specifically. And I think that's where the major disruptions are going to happen. I actually want to play for you this when we talk about reasoning, just going back to reasoning again, this clip from Dane Vahey on what actually reasoning and how to use reasoning. Let me know if you can hear it or can't hear it.
We can hear you.
Okay.
So imagine like a younger, brother or sister, like intelligent, can ask good questions, but not really doing any higher learning. Our GPT-4 was basically equivalent of a really strong high schooler, really ambitious high schooler, could kind of solve complex questions, knew the right things that it could ask, can give you really detailed reports. What we've seen with our OpenAI O1, our reasoning model, it's basically capable of like the very best PhD students. And the way that we kind of like think about this is we've tested it on a skilled human baseline. So we basically have our expert PhDs and our researchers, and we give it different questions. And basically what we find is the humans typically outperform our AI models. So GPT-4o, which is our most advanced model before, outperformed humans about 30% of the time. Now with our new reasoning model, and we're just at the start, we outperform humans 50% of the time. This is the first time we've ever been superhuman on any of these metrics. So we've gone to that next level of kind of intelligence for how people are thinking about reasoning and content. What does this enable you to do? Another kind of way to think about this is that GPT-3 was great at 5-second tasks. GPT-4o is great at 5-minute tasks. And our reasoning model is going to be great at 5-hour tasks. So you're going to have the ability for the first time to kind of ask people to like post these tasks and do really kind of long problems where it really needs to think hard on a problem as well. And you're going to see a lot of progress here in terms of research, coding, customer service, data analysis, and leadership. How do we think about AI as like a thought partner and thinking help for kind of all the work that you're doing?
So it just gives you an idea of where OpenAI specifically is looking at reasoners, right? So then the level 4 is innovators, so AI that can aid in invention or actually invent by itself. And then level 5 is organizations where AI can do the work of an organization. So when you think about it, that's what they call artificial general intelligence. And the idea from, I know, Anthropic and OpenAI and Sam Altman have been saying like 2-3 years. And someone like Jan LeCun at Meta is saying, hey, that's probably, 5 to 10 years. So it depends on who you ask. But I think if you look at it from an adoption level, even if there's artificial general intelligence technology today, adoption from businesses and people will still take years because they still have to know about it, and then they still have to figure out how they can apply this to their daily life. And then, as you can see too, it isn't just North America. We are seeing different countries. So this is DeepSeek from China doing O1 reasoning equivalent large language models as well. And their benchmarks are very, very, very comparable to O1 or O1 preview before. So that gives you kind of an idea of what we're looking at here in terms of these 5 levels. Now I know all the AI labs today are really working on agents, and to try to really, build that component out. And you're actually seeing some of the companies like HubSpot, Salesforce, Microsoft Copilot really talk about agents. But I feel from an agent perspective, it's just a bunch of workflows or processes like things like Zapier or Make can do those things. When we talk about agents, we talk about things that, they can you can give it a goal and they can take action on that goal. So, for example, an agent task would be, hey, I want you to create a newsletter, and that would be the goal. So that agent would then look at, the hosting, what platform hosting it's going to do, how it's going to create the brand, what kind of stories it's going to present, how often is it going to be released, all those different levels. And then from there, actually executing and releasing that newsletter. That's what an agent should be able to do, right? From start to finish. So that's the thought of an agent. In fact, another thing by Sam Altman, what he said, and is I kind of want to show that. Hold on a second. He had a really good point, and I forgot to bring that up, but let me see. Here it is.
Maybe I can give the following example. When people talk about an AI agent acting on their behalf, the main example they seem to give, fairly consistently, is, oh, you can ask the agent to go book you a restaurant reservation, and either it can use OpenTable or it can call a restaurant. Okay, sure, that's like a mildly annoying thing to have to do, and maybe save you some work. One of the things that I think is interesting is a world where you can just do things that you wouldn't or couldn't do as a human. So what if instead of calling one restaurant to make a reservation, my agent would call me 300 and figure out which one had the best food for me or some special thing available or whatever. And then you would say, well, that's really annoying if your agent is calling 300 restaurants. But if it's an agent answering each of those 300 places, then no problem. And it can be this massively parallel thing that a human can't do. So that's a trivial example, but there are these limitations to human bandwidth that maybe these agents won't have. The category I think that was more interesting is not the one that people normally normally talk about, right? You have this thing called restaurants for you. But something that's more like a really smart senior coworker, where you can like collaborate on a project with, and the agent can go do like a 2-day task or 2-week task really well, and paying you back when to ask questions, but come back to you with like a great work product.
So I think that's important to think about as you move into the workforce is the potential to have an agent that is like a senior coworker that actually can execute tasks that would have taken months or days in just hours and come back to it. Because that's a really big fundamental change in how businesses operate, how we operate like on a personal level, on a business level, on our careers, and so on. So it's something to think about as you enter because all these AI labs are working on it. And as agents get better, in the next year, 2, 3 years, those are the things that are going to start actually doing a lot of the work. So how can you prepare for that? And anyway, so I'm going to roll it back a little bit to some of the use cases that I think all of us and all of you can take advantage of today. Now, most of you have heard of prompting, right? So I'm not going to get into prompting, but I'm going to give you two tools that I think could help you out. So the first one is by Anthropic, and you can just go to Anthropic console, just Google it, sign up. It's free, completely free. And what you can do is if you're having trouble prompting something, like you want to create a good prompt to complete a task, but some people don't know how to do it, all you need to do is go into Anthropic, hit generate prompt, and then you can ask it to help you create a prompt that is pretty comprehensive. So, for example, here, I would say, hey, I want to create a business strategy for a medium-sized construction contracting company in Calgary. That's where I am. Specialize in foundational building uh, for new homes. That would be a company. So what it would do, it wouldn't generate the actual answer. It would generate the prompt for you to get the best answer. So again, completely free. If you're having trouble prompting, don't take one of those prompting courses. Get one for free to get you a good base, but go into something like Anthropic console to help you develop those prompts because then you'll learn exactly what these systems are looking for. Another one is OpenAI's. You can go to their playground again for free. You just need to sign up. And same thing, you can go to they don't call it that, their system message generator, but it's literally the same thing that you can do, and it'll generate, the prompt. The difference between Anthropic and OpenAI is that they create things that work well in their environment. So, for example, Anthropic, I would use this style if you're using Anthropic Claude. But if you look at here, this would be how you would write for ChatGPT. So, just things to think about to help you right away. Now, is there anybody? So Cool Ranjan, maybe you can help me out here.
Yep.
If I say how many people with the student group use Perplexity, how many people are using it?
Hardly 1 or 2, 3.
One or two. Okay, cool. So we're on the Perplexity plan, pro version, and I pretty much use this over Google for anything. So for example, if I wanted to want to ask a question about I don't know, what would I be searching? Oh, here we go. Um let's say that I want to hear about that news story. Instead of actually giving you links, it gives you the answer to what you're looking for. ChatGPT does it as well. ChatGPT, if you go into just regular and then you have this, then you can search for it too. So just a story and then away it goes, something like that. Was there a question or
Great.
no question? Okay, cool. So yeah, very simple. But even if you want to ask them, like, I want to buy some Nike shoes near Calgary. So I don't like using Google anymore because there's so many ads, top, bottom, side, left, wherever. At least here it gives you the answers, right? And gives you the citations. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to do. Same thing with ChatGPT, super simple, right? So um and then even has a map feature now. And you can use this on the free account too. So I kind of prefer it now. But what I really wanted to showcase in Perplexity is their um, pages feature. So let's say you are all researching something. Like, let's say the research would be there's a term that I heard last week. It's called Taylorism. I didn't know what it was. And you can do this for research paper, business research, sales research, whatever research. And then what Perplexity does is it actually creates for you essentially does the research online, which I thought is amazing. It's going to give you like sections, but what's awesome about it is you can add the sections, you can add more sections, or you can actually edit the sections too. So we'll let that finish. Okay, cool. So impacts, principles. So let's say I want to add a section. How about history of Taylorism? And then it will do the research for me, which is great. And you can apply it to any research. You can even add media to it if you want, which is neat. You can change that media. You can generate images, upload your images. And in each area, so for example, here, I can edit it. So it's not supposed to be a blog post. So you can't edit the actual text, but what you can do is, hey, I want it to be more detailed. However, I want it to be in bullet form and I don't want images to it. And then it'll redo it. And again, more specific, you can move sections too, and you can ask different things. So here I can go, you know what? I want this to be detailed. I want this to be in a table format, and I want to include an image. And then there you go. And what's neat about this is after you're finished editing, and you can, edit this all about Taylorism. Save. Then you can publish it. And then you can copy the link and share it. So it's now a published page. I can copy that link, open it up, and it's now a published page for you. So if you are doing some research, definitely worth checking out Perplexity, especially their pages ability. Now, Perplexity itself is free, but what I just showed you, the spaces and the more so the pages, you will have to pay for that, and that's $20 a month. But what's neat about Perplexity is that it can use a lot of the models and you can use it in a way that's, web search, writing mode, math mode, academic mode, video, social. And then what's neat too is you can use all these different models. And they usually have the most updated models. So if you don't want to use ChatGPT, you want to use something different, you want to use something that has a lot of these models, and you want to try that out, then I think definitely this is the way to go. Perplexity is one option for you. Although some of the models are adding new features, but I still love the way that Perplexity allows you to do stuff. Um, and then also, so for example, here, when you have search, it has its reasoning search too, um, what it's thinking about, and then I love the ability to ask follow-up questions on that search, and then related questions about it. Then you can convert that to a page and do the research on it as well. So I thought that was a lot of neat things that you can do with Perplexity. Okay, so cool. The next tool that I wanted to show everybody, and if you could help me, in the room, how many people know about Notebook LM?
No one.
No one. So this is cool. I wish I had this in school, and I bet you I wish you guys all had this too. So in Notebook, you can add a lot of different sources. I'm just gonna add one source here. I'm gonna add this. It's a Calgary real estate monthly package report. So I'm gonna add that. But what you can do is you can add websites, you can add YouTube channels, you can paste your text, your Google Slides, your Google Docs, and you have 50 sources as a limit. Again, this is free. You can go to Notebook LM, find it on Google. Love using this. So, what you can do is you can create a study guide based on this. You can create briefing docs, FAQs, timelines, and it's going to generate all that. Um, I wish uh, I wish I had that in school. Uh, so I could have done a lot of my notes. You can also add audio too. So if you recorded your professor's um, lectures, you could have added that as well. And then you can ask questions against your data. So for example, take this, and it's just that's the only source right now. And so it goes up like it you can ask her questions against your source. And what's really neat is total so many abilities with this to do it. But the number one thing that everyone's excited about is their audio overviews. So I'm gonna generate that. And what that is it generates a podcast based on this this data that you provided. Again, all these different sources, websites, YouTubes, and so on. Just keep you can upload audio files, PDFs, .txt files. It'll take a couple minutes. So that is Notebook LM, and I'll play the video in a second, but I wanted to show you what it looks like, and it's free. So everybody today, they can just go to Notebook LM and you can use it for free. There's another tool, not for free. It's called Play AI. Same thing. I can upload a very similar um, document. So I'm going to upload this document. But what this can do is can do a podcast style, but it can also do multiple different styles. You could do debate, executive briefing, a children's story, a summary, and you can actually change the voices. So if I put debate, I can have some of its AI voices. So Finley,
Hello,
I'm
hello.
going to put Finley and I'm going to put, let's say Ada, or actually, no, I'm going to put Sarah.
Up already, thank goodness.
So I'm going to put there, and then you can then create the podcast. What's really neat, a second thing you can do is you can clone your own voice and you can put that as the podcast as well. So here's an example of that. Let's see here, this one.
Hey, so I know that you are an expert in helping people understand responsibility and cart in
Planet when we're all important question. And honestly, one of the most challenging parts is creating that visceral connection to something as abstract as the planet when we're all living. So that I never said any of that. They just cloned my voice. I just cloned my voice and had it create. The next piece of this, which makes it even better, is you can create your own podcast. So you don't even need to upload anything. You can create a podcast, speaker one, speaker two. So let's say you go to ChatGPT, create that podcast, put it in here, clone your voice, and you can literally create a podcast from nothing. So I thought that was a kind of neat function as well. And this is Play AI. This one you have to pay for though. All right. Notebook LM is not. It's still taking a long time to generate. I thought it would be I thought it'd be finished, but it's not. So we'll just keep I'll move on to the next thing, but I'll play that in a second. So cool again. Can help me out. How many people here know about Claude or use Claude?
Many, at least 6 to 7.
6 or 7? Perfect. So for those who don't know, and I love that you guys are all love Claude. One of the things I love using Claude for, one, it doesn't train on data. Two, I love its ability to do artifacts. So what I mean by artifacts, um, I want to generate a interactive dashboard on the fiscal report and um give and projections for the next three three quarters. So I kind of use this on code too, just to give me an idea, although I use Bolt or Cursor as well. And what it does is, one, it can code for you. It has React, but it can show you the code, the output as well that you can download and copy, which is kind of neat. So we'll let this go. And then there you go, right? For those who use Claude, you kind of know about this feature already, agent count, and then you can take the code, copy that, and then you can continue using Claude to refine that dashboard. In this case, it's an interactive dashboard, but in other cases, you can use it to do your code as well. Let's see if this is finished. Ah, here we go. So back to Notebook LM. Again, completely AI generated. Nothing of this is real.
All right, so let's dive into this Calgary Housing Market Report, August 2024. We've got this City of Calgary Monthly Statistics Package PDF. And it's a lot to unpack, but we're going to make sense of it together.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the key trends and especially compared to last year, historical averages, and just see what we can pinpoint that's most interesting for understanding where the Calgary market is headed.
Yeah, there's definitely some surprising stats in here, like which homes are seeing higher demand.
For sure. So jumping right in, the big
So
news.
again, that is not real at all. It was just generated. So 21 minutes worth of that. But they added a new feature where you can talk to those hosts. So let's do that one.
All right, so let's dive into this Calgary Housing Market Report, August 2024. We've got.
Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Hey, could you tell me more about the pace of growth?
That's a great question. When we talk about the pace of growth, we're really looking at how quickly things are changing.
Yeah, and this report gives us a few ways to track that, like the year-over-year changes and those month-over-month shifts in price.
So I thought that's really cool that you can not only they generate a AI podcast, but you can actually talk to the podcast. So I thought that was a kind of neat thing that you can do, and you can use today for free. Every one of us. I'm sure you can come up with different use cases for this, and I know they're starting to roll this out quite a lot. Okay. The next thing that I wanted to show you that you can use today, and I'm just going to jump ahead here. Does anybody here used Lovable or Bolt? There's one person in the back, maybe another one. So I love using this. So essentially what I would do is I would go into O1 Pro, come up with a concept and go to Lovable and actually, or Bolt. I used to use Bolt, but if you ever use Lovable, I think it's more amazing. You can build or code something, an application, just using natural language. You don't actually have to know HTML, Python, Ruby, C++. You can just ask it to. So here, what I would say is create an interactive app to build a personalized wealth plan. Users can enter their financial goals, risk tolerance, investment over time. The app should recommend an investment strategy, and so on and so on. So once it does that, it's going to start spinning up, actually creating the code for you. I'm going to go to Bolt for those who don't, and I'm going to do the same thing. I kind of like the ability to see the code too, and how it's building that. Let's see what this is doing. This you can see the code too, and you can apply it on Supabase, but and then let's keep going and going and going. We'll let Bolt do it then. So, and then you can get a preview of it too as well. There you go. I don't know, 5 million, 2, 3, 4. And then monthly contributions, 200. And what's nice is sometimes when the code is it adjusts for you. Sometimes with the code, like you can, if you look at you, it can, if there's any errors, which sometimes a lot of the time it actually does errors, it can actually fix its own errors, which is awesome. What one person did is they went to Asana, copied, just took a picture of Asana. So we could try that now. Let's go to, I'm just going to take an image of, let's say Trello. No, let's go to Asana. Let's take an image of Asana. So like here, I'm just going to go, I'm going to take a screenshot of this, just this. I'm going to put that on my desktop. Then I'm going to go back to Lovable. So as you can see, it kind of built the thing too. I'm going to go back, go to dashboards. I'm going to upload that attachment that I just put in. And then I'm going to say, hey, can you recreate this app? And then it's going to do that. So I'm curious to see what the application is. Here with Bolts, you can actually deploy it. I'm not going to do that, but I thought this was a really, really cool function to be able to take screenshots of other applications and have it build it for you. I do think as you move forward, you really have to think about the concept of software as a service, because if anybody, literally anybody, can go to Bolt, Lovable, or Replit Agent and clone anything, I think an AI agent would you'll probably looking at a massive disruption in SaaS, especially its SaaS verticals, where companies can build technically their own tailored to their use case rather than have to pay a monthly subscription for that, right? It's not bad. I haven't done it with Bolt. So it kind of gets you there, but then you can just edit the code itself. I'm not gonna go to GitHub, but like you can edit the code yourself and kind of start playing around with it. So if you work for a company, literally you can go to your competitor, copy the code. Now there's a lot of other things too, customer support, data and whatnot, but you can if AI is this is the worst AI can be, this is ridiculous. So what is the potential? So I'm gonna quickly go into voice and video a little bit. You've already seen the voice. I'm gonna go into video and some of the stuff that we've been using it for. But there's a lot of opportunities here as well. So one of this, when I was working at Benevity, they have they're a global company, so they have something in France and they have offices in France, offices in Germany. They released a new product, so they needed to reach that market. So here's the initial English version.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm a technical solutions consultant here at Benevity, and I'm going to walk you through the All Groups page of Benevity Affinity Groups. We'll walk you through the groups that your employees can join, whether public or private, the ability for them to join with just one click or a simple application.
Okay, but we needed to reach a French audience, and Dan doesn't speak any French.
Salut, je suis Dan. Consultant en solutions techniques chez Benevity, je vais vous guider à travers la page de tous les groupes d'affinités de Benevity. Nous vous guiderons.
And then why not in German?
Hallo, ich bin Dan. Ich bin Lösungsberater bei Benevity und erkläre Ihnen die Seite aller Gruppen der Benevity Affinity Groups. Wir führen Sie durch.
So as you can see, lip movement, pretty good, like really good. Tone, like matches it. And I think it's over 50 languages, Hindi, Punjabi, like, and like all the major languages in the world, Mandarin, Cantonese, and so on. It does it. So there's a lot of definitely use cases we have. Um, and we use, I think that tool was called HeyGen. We have another tool here. It's called I like using Runway. So there now Runway has this really neat feature. It's called Act One. So what I did was I generated an image on Midjourney, an anime image, and then I recorded myself, and then it applied. So this is what the image looks like, and then it just applied my recording to this image. Literally any business has the repetitive, the mundane, the really boring stuff. Every single business has invoicing. Every single business has accounts. So I did that, and then I created another one too. Literally any business has the repetitive, the mundane, the really boring stuff. Every single business has invoicing. Everybody. So, that was kind of fun to do. But then there's other things that you can do too, like you can take images and have it move. This was for a show home. So this was originally just a picture, but you can make it move on different planes too. So I did this one here. Again, started as an image, and then you can make it move. So that was kind of neat. And then you can take pictures like this. And the original image was here. So just a really simple thing on, I'm not going to go too much into video generation or image generation, but there's a lot of really neat things there as well. So I'm going to wrap up with one last thing. Google released this last week. And I thought it was one of the most amazing demos. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to just play this. So this is the new Delta Force that came out. So watch this. I thought this was kind of neat. Hold on. I'm just going to make sure my mic is correct. Input. No, there it is. I want that. Okay. Hey, can you hear me? Oh. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How can I help?
So I'm going to show this. And
Okay, I'm ready. Please, show me what you'd like.
all right. Can you explain to me what's happening on screen?
Certainly. The video shows gameplay from a first-person shooter video game. In the first part, the player is in a dark, industrial area and shooting at other players. The second part shows the player in a more open, well-lit area with a staircase.
Cool. What's on the top left?
On the top left of the screen, there is a mini-map. There are also some numbers that are related to the game.
Cool. And what's on the bottom right?
On the bottom right, there is information about the player's current weapon, including the amount of ammo they have left. There are also some other options available.
Anyway, you can actually, all of you can try this for free too. Just go to aistudio.google.com. I'm excited because we can build off this now. The API will be coming in January. That Google said January 2025. So I think that's a lot of, there's so many things that I think you could do with this. And if you think about it, every single one of us now has an AI companion that we can talk to, share our screen with, just have full conversations with, really, right? One of the things that we built for 0 to 60 was to help for different businesses. So, but this one only has voice, and currently it's trained on banking. So here, for example.
Hello, how can I assist you today?
Can you tell me what is RBC Dominion's key portfolio strategies for high net worth clients who are about to retire?
RBC Dominion Securities offers tailored wealth management strategies to high net worth clients approaching retirement. Their approach includes personalized advice.
Can you tell me your top portfolios that RBC has?
RBC Dominion Securities offers several key portfolio strategies tailored for high net worth clients. Some of the top portfolio strategies include.
Okay, so you can see where that's going. We really believe, if you think about it, we still go to websites today because we still have to click it, scroll it, and all that kind of stuff. Imagine in the next 3 to 6 months, you do not go to websites. You still can if you want, but like you talk to the business. How much do you cost? How much can I book a demo? What is your what who works for the company? Those kind of questions. But also, let's say you purchase something with with vision, you can say, "Hey, can you look at this? What's wrong with it? Or it's defective or it doesn't work." And then you have the businesses because they're trained completely on, video and images, it can help you if it's already been trained on it or it's seen that problem before. Again, that is a complete redo of the operations of how businesses operate and what is possible going forward. So anyway, that is pretty much the end of my presentation. There's a lot of cool stuff. Again, OpenAI is supposed to come out with something even crazier today. So definitely tune in a couple hours. But I'm hoping some of you can see the potential, things that you can use today. And I hope as builders for the future, I'm really excited to what some of you are probably thinking some really cool things that you can build off. So this is our company. Connect with us on LinkedIn, Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I do a lot of AI videos. Yeah, just we'd love to talk to you if you have any ideas or just you have any questions. And so cool. That's the end of my presentation.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Do you have any questions? Okay. Yeah, please. And every one of you can unmute yourself and feel free to ask your questions, please.
Yep. Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. My question is regarding web crawlers, which is made by Byte. Can you explain me, is it required to give every time access to the web crawlers? Like web crawlers don't respect the robot.txt rules of any website. They don't respect copyrights. They just crawl the whole web for large models. Is it an appropriate task, or I think we should give a more opportunity to web crawlers to behave like to respect copyrights issues and everything of websites?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. And I think different countries will have to apply that, will have to address that because the laws aren't keeping up right now with what essentially the AI labs have done. And if you actually think about it, all the AI labs have already crawled pretty much the entire web multiple times over, right? Ilya Sutskever, who used to work for OpenAI, said pre-training is close to being done. That's what he believes, in that you've already extracted everything from the internet. There's new stuff being created, but a lot of that stuff is AI created too. So each country will have to figure out how to protect certain sites. And I think this is where businesses have to think too. If you're creating content, how comfortable are you with AI scraping your site? And I know, some companies have done licensing deals with OpenAI or Anthropic or Google that allows them to crawl their sites. This is why ChatGPT search, Perplexity search is able to get the latest news because they've made those licensing deals, or the information is free. But you are correct that definitely there has to be ways for websites to be able to protect themselves. I know OpenAI has said like you can opt out of your site being crawled, but that's OpenAI. It doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch of other large language models or AI labs in different countries that don't need to abide by the rules. And I think this is where you probably start needing like a international governing body for AI because this is just one issue to protect the privacy and copyrights of other people.
I have another question. Can I ask that?
Sure.
Okay, the thing is, most of the SaaS products that are built around AI are just wrappers of OpenAI or Anthropic.
Yep.
Something unique by our own that is just not a wrapper around APIs or a Google APIs or Gemini or
Mhm.
Anthropic or Cloud.
Mhm.
Is there any way? Is there any ideas that you have you can tell us?
You're right. Not that, so for example, I think I'm still sharing. There is a business. So for example, here. So Chatbase is one company, right? They are technically a wrapper for chat OpenAI, Claude, and Google now. You can build a successful business doing a wrapper, but I think Sam Altman said if your business is built on static, so they're continuously improving the product. So if traditional businesses have built their business on a technology being static or staying the same. So you have to now think of how can you think of a business or a product that one ensures that it continuously adapts to the change of AI, which is really fast and not very many companies can make a business that adapts. And two, what is your moat? Um, and how can you ensure that AI won't take your moat? So one idea that I've always it comes back to is how can you maybe find a really niche area that one outside of you building your own model, which I don't think is a good idea unless you have billions of dollars, can you really fine tune either a model or open source or something that serves the purpose of that niche industry? So for example, if there's any predictive there's a lot of use cases for predictive analytics for industries, for construction, for manufacturing, especially like energy where they use a lot of equipment. And so if the equipment breaks down or needs to be maintained, if you can fine tune a predictive model for that specific either company or industry, that is a really good use case that is going to be very difficult for large language models to just create in a general sense. It serves a very, very specific use case that I think you can potentially build a business around. So my recommendation is go to industries or businesses that have very niche or very specific workflows or processes, understand that workflow and process, and this is where you can apply an AI to do that, whether it's vertical AI agents that you want to build or fine tune specific things. And remember that a lot of enterprises and business don't like sharing their data or have very specific use cases of data. So maybe you can build something local or on-prem using an open source like Llama 3.3. So that's an example.
Yeah, thank you for your insight. It's really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, anyone from your side will join this Zoom call? So we are good?
I think everyone's good.
All right, Carl. Thank you so much. It was really helpful.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we have 70 students here that are participating in hackathon, working on
Oh,
this.
nice. I'm excited for you all to see what you can do.
Yeah, thank you. I'll share the outcome.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Cool.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks.
Bye.